up, everybody? It's your boy Moon back at it again with another video, man. We talking about Shadow Slave. Let's get to it, man. It's been in like 2 to 3 days since I last talked about it. You know, a couple chapters out, and then a lot of crazy stuff happened, man. A lot of peak shit happened too, and I was hyped. I ain't gonna lie. It's just the one chapter today, 3 chapter tomorrow. Curse striked again, and I couldn't record, bro. I couldn't record. I was too hyped. I'd rather enjoy the story more than create the videos. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? So like, they left us on a cliffhanger, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know which one, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? So I had to wait, you know, the other chapters come on. Now we can make a video. But basically, you know, the Rat King didn't hold Mordret for that long. Mordret still went out and started a battle on 3 fronts, and the main one being the one on the Lake of Tears, and that's what we're gonna talk about. You know, one Supreme versus Hella Awakened, Hella Masters, and a lot of Saints. But you know, Morty, the King of Nothing, still, you know, was beating their ass, and you know, everybody's like, yo, we can't hold for 2 days. Kai's like, yo, can we hold for 2 days? I want y'all to hold for 2 days. He's told Station, her other sisters, any other saying, you know, masters type shit, you know, information, because he's the leader. He's the GOAT. And then, like, I don't remember exactly how much, but a couple hours in, and they're like, I don't know if we can even hold for 1 day. 2 days? And then out of nowhere, you know, the chapter ends, but guess who shows up? Morgan of Valor. Morgan shows up with the exiles of fucking Godgrave, bro. So that's Saint Summer Night. We got Saint Jest. And I forgot who else. So whoever from Valor that they didn't kill, you know, on the low key, was still there too, exiled with them. So more Saints basically showed up. And, you know, they got reinforcements. They tried to hold more. A day and a half later, bro, they're like, yo, why is Kai not singling the tree? What the fuck is going on? And it's almost 2 days. Kai still not singling the tree. What's going on? But Kai want to save everybody. You know, Kai, we all know Kai is kind, especially with his flow, all of that. He wants to save everyone, bro. So he's not calling this a treat. He grits his teeth when the chapter ends, and guess what? He whispers Asterion. We know his aspect. It echoes throughout the whole battlefield. Next chapter starts. That's after we had to suffer 24 hours on a cliffhanger to get, I think, 1 chapter, right? Or was it? That's the 1 in 3. I don't care, whatever. I was mad, bro. I want all the chapters. Asterion, everybody, you know, since Kai said it, it goes out through the whole battle. Everybody says in their mind. And then Asterion, the chapter say Asterion starts walking among them like he always been there. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? So like, is Asterion like an idea? We know he's an idea, right? On his way on the path of ascension, he became an idea. He got harder to kill, blah blah blah. We know that. But is it because he's an idea? As soon as people thought about him, he just showed up, and then he could choose. Since you know how they say, as soon as you invoke his name, he can watch what's going on and stuff like that. But since he's not stuck on the moon anymore, you know, he got his domain going on, you know, he got his powers, he regained most of his powers, all his powers. I don't know yet. Is it as soon as he sees his name and then he becomes aware of somebody saying his name, he could show up there out of nowhere or not without using a dream fucking gate? That's a OP fucking ability. Imagine. I feel like that's way more OP than Nephis' flame, because she only can heal you from far away. She's not gonna show up there and deal with your problems. Like, imagine if Asterion was a good guy like Nephis and Sunny. Asterion, bro, shows up. Yo, you good? Yo, you good? You need help? That's crazy. Like, nobody else is doing that. That's insane. Or did he come through a dream gate and then dismiss it immediately? I don't know, because it said there was a ripple through the world or whatever. Everybody felt it, even though there was nothing there. And then Asterion is right there. Asterion talking to Kai. He's like, yo, you got yourself in trouble, bro. You sure you can handle that? And Kai's like, what the fuck? You know? Asterion is here, man. And then he's even more shocked that Kai called him. He's like, bro, what the fuck? Why are you shocked? I'm supposed to be shocked. How come you called me? Like, I thought you were with Nephis and them. You know what I'm saying? but he was gonna show up. We figured out that, you know, Kai's telling him, I knew you were gonna show up anyway. You weren't gonna give that. You weren't gonna let Mordret get this citadel, especially the Lake of Tears, especially because it's connected. Like it connects you to like most of the Dream Realm. You know what I'm saying? So better maneuver, better all that. And he's like, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, you know, because he never tells the truth. And then I don't know, he tells Kai something. Kai's like, you're lying. He's like, you know, peculiar, you got a peculiar flaw, whatever. That's all good. And he's like, yo, run away. Let me go talk to my boy right there. Let me go talk to Mordred, you know. And we get the cool ass reunion between the King of Nothing, Morgie, and the Dream Spawn, Aster, man. You know what I'm saying? They both there, you know, exchanging, you know, pleasantries, blows. He calling him boy, that boy. The boy calling him teacher, you know what I'm saying? He's saying, yo, teacher, how long you've been this old? And, you know, he's like, yo, why are you scared? Come greet me in person, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? That was all fun and games. And then the next chapter come, and I wrote that down because it was so cool. Like, basically, Mordred was like, you know, like he's like opening up a little bit, low key, but you know, like he's being after one of his reflection became exactly like Asterion, because his reflections can reflect people's what you want to call it, reflect people's abilities and shit like that, right? So I think except Sunny and Nephis, because they got, you know, divine lineages like him, they're Titans, whatever. So I guess he copied, because one of his reflections turns exactly to a copy of Asterion, you know, tall man, black hair, golden eyes, whatever. And then he talks to him with that. And I don't know if he's using Asterion's power against him. I don't think that would work, especially against the original, but whatever. But he's basically telling him, well, you know, I've always wanted to kill the King of Swords, my dad. That was always on my mind, but that's been robbed of me. And I don't know what to do. I did how do you say? I did help with his downfall, but I wasn't the one who killed him. I wanted to kill him with my hands. And guess what? I guess life always gives two chances. Because you're here now as spare father figure. That was fire. But that wasn't it. Right here he says, back then when he discarded me, I was both hurt and glad to have been discarded. I was both abandoned and full of hope, but all my hope was shattered. And in the end, I was left with nothing. Chills, bro. I swear to God. That was like, I'm reading, I'm like, oh my God. Ooh, like, holy, like, that was fire. I don't know. I just like when the dialogue is fire, you know? Nothing, King of Nothing, his powers, all of that, you know what I'm saying? You could say foreshadowing, you could say it's a metaphor, whatever it is. I like it. Whatever this is called, I like it. I like when works or pieces of media do that. In general, you know what I'm saying? That was father. That was fire, not father. But yeah, but he's basically telling him, oh, you're a spare father figure, you know, I'm trying to kill you type shit. And then it's gonna be, and he's like, oh, do you think you can kill me, boy? And he's like, I don't know. Only time will tell, because, you know, this is gonna be, you know, a long battle. Obviously, this is not the final battle. And then he's like, it'll be fun to try though, because, you know, Mordred is unhinged. Just like Asterion. If not more, to be honest, because of his slow. We don't know. But Asterion doesn't even think of himself as a human. Mordred do. So I don't know. They're both crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're both crazy. They suffer of mental illness, suffer of them. You know, just like Sunny said back in the day. And that was cool and all that. You know what I'm saying? Exchanging pleasantries while Kai is trying to get, you know, everybody rescued. Trying to get the citizens and all that. You know, obviously we don't see the battle, sadly, but, you know, epic battle between the King of Nothing and the Dream Spawn. The shockwaves going on and shit, you know, you could tell, like, shit is going down, bro. Shit is going down. But then we don't see it. It doesn't get off screen, but it's in the background while Kai's saving everybody. You know, Kai's trying to save everybody, and the shockwaves are too great. They were saying there's steps or whatever and elevators. I'm not like sure. My imagination, you know, sometimes like I could read it, but I see what's going on, but I can't imagine it. Like they're saying, you know, with the water, with the lake, there's like steps you can go up or whatever, 2 levels, and then elevators, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever. Basically, there's a lot of citizens that were waiting for their turn to go up the elevator or the steps. I forgot which, and then one of the shockwaves come and almost hits them, and they do hit them actually, if I remember correctly, killing a lot of people, and then collapsing the stairs and whatever. And then another one comes in, Kai's to try with their dragon form, come to save them, and we get a really cool moment of Morgan pulling up in her transformation, you know, or her transcendent ability. She's a thick wall of steel, you know what I'm saying? Thick ass wall of steel, bro, protecting her, cause protecting, you know, Kai and the citizens and the mundane people especially, because you know she doesn't want her hubby to get hurt, you know what I'm saying? That was cool. I'm like, look at the that was cute. And basically after a while, Morgan and Kai talk about after she's you know, she tried helping him save everybody basically, and then they probably did. They're a little further away now. They're like towards closer to, I forgot if they said closer to God's grave or like Ravenheart, but they're far away from the battle. But then the shockwaves ended, like they can't hear anything, and they're like, okay, who won? You know, Kai with his ability can see everything. He's like, nobody won. She's like, what the fuck? What you mean? And he's like, yeah, Asterion wanted the Citadel as well, it turns out, you know, just like Mordret. So in the end, Mordret basically destroyed the Citadel, destroyed the gateway, destroyed that, so nobody get it. And the battle ended with nobody winning. But ultimately, Asterion did win, because in the next chapter we get it, Cassie is back into her being form thing, you know. She's trying to figure out, okay, well, now I know what happened with that, but she still doesn't know where, you know, Changing Star and the Lord of Shadows is. That's what she calling him, or I don't know if that's like whatever. You know, some fists are gone, bro. We don't know where. Cassie knows, but she doesn't know exactly why. But she knows this because of one of her visions. But back to it again. I said it in the last video. How the fuck is she getting visions, bro? Huh? Tell me, G3. I swear to God, man. It has to be. It has to be either, I don't know, Cassie gets a new ability, or by her get one of her eyes going away. I don't know. She strikes too hard. You know, maybe she exceeds her limit, something like that. She unlocks a new ability, or back to always saying the easiest answer could be Weaver's Mask. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, okay, well, it's because of one of my visions, but I don't know what. Let me, I'm gonna touch these memories now. I want to figure out what's going on, and then, you know, basically, even though nobody won, you know, Mordred destroyed the Citadel, Asterion did win, because, you know, the invisible battle between the two domain, you know, Asterion's domain, Nephis' domain, that Asterion damn near like enthralled most of everybody except the most loyal of loyal, you know, like Kai, and one of them was Seishin. She's the GOAT. We're seeing Seishin's memories, you know, they're running away with the citizens. She took a part of them that way, Morgan took a part of them that way, Kai went that way, and then it cut to Lonesome Howl, which is Seishin's sister. She was in Kai's group, and then she was like, well, I pulled up here because, you know, Kai told us to all pull up as saints since it's safe now, you know what I'm saying? The army with the Hella Awakened Masters could take the mundane people. Us saints, we can move faster. Let's go. Kai needs us. Whole time it was a trap, because, you know, Asterion enthralled damn near everybody except the most loyal, and Lonesome Howl was one of them. It was a trap to lure Seishin in. Can we just appreciate Seishin? I ain't gonna lie, she was cool or whatever in the Forgotten Shore. You know, I don't remember any of Gunlog's people. You know what I'm saying? Other than the cohort and Seishin, I don't remember any of their names, to be honest. Other than Horus, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna remember him. I don't remember any of the lieutenants. No. That was Seishin. She was just a lieutenant to me. You know? They get out. We don't see any of her. I think we see her again, if I'm not mistaken, when in the ball, when Nephis is back. And she's, you know, a little master. She's like, be careful what you do, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. And then we see her more in not Godgrave, in the Black Skull battle, right? Yeah. And in the desert, she was cool. Like, she was growing on me. And then when she's a saint, you know, after, you know, Volume 8 and 9, Lord of Shadows, all the Throne of War, whatever. You know, she was growing on me. But now, like, bro, she won I know I'm skipping a whole lot to the end of the chapter. She won a 5v1 against 5 other Saints. Who do we see that's doing that? Other than Mordret, Nephis, and Sunny. Maybe Morgan. I know they always... Maybe it's that... But I ain't gonna lie. If Revel was there, it would have been GG's. It would have been GG's for Station. But I don't think Revel is gonna get enthralled because of the Mark of Shadows. I think she has it. I think he gave it to her, if I'm not mistaken. Since what's his name? Since he's a Supreme Titan now, right? Fuck, what's the serpent called? Oh yeah, well, serpent. What's the serpent called? Serpent. Because serpent is he's, what's it called? He's a Supreme Titan, so he could definitely give it to a Saint. So I think he gave her the Mark of Shadow. She's good, but she can still get enthralled, I think. But I don't think she is. But I'm saying if she was there, it would have been GG's for Station. But Station won a 5v1 against the other sisters, which is crazy to me. But you know, just at the end of the day, you know, just she's just like her mom. Even though there was something they said that I was like, how does their lineage work? Because we know each lineage work a little different. But she's saying she inherited the most important part of the Beast God. So is the Beast God like pieces, or like say the original person, which is Kisong, that was it Kisong or Ravenheart that got the lineage first? I think it was Kisong, but I'm not sure. Whatever, whichever it is, I think maybe even if it's Ravenheart, Kisong inherited most of it because she was her only daughter. But the other daughters of Kisong, did they inherit different parts of it? And is that how the Beast God lineage work? But she's saying I inherited the most part of it, which is the blood. And the blood, I mean, she has power over anybody that has the beast lineage in them, the Beast God lineage. And I see a couple comments was like, would that work on Asterion? I don't think it worked just because he's a higher level, and then I think it's only if people get the same pieces. I think like from one part, like say 3 siblings get 3 different pieces, and then the one with the blood can control the other 2 type shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how it works. She went up 5v1. That shit was awesome, but you know what I'm saying, she's just like her mom. She couldn't do it. She couldn't finish her sisters, and she surrendered. And that's how the chapter ends. It's been hype, but can we see like what happens next? I feel like next chapter, or in the next couple chapters for sure, or this weekend, or next time we get 1 chapter today, 3 chapters tomorrow. Curse, these 3 chapters is gonna be Sunfist, and we're gonna see where they going. Cause ain't no way, we gotta see where they're going, bro. G3, please. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what happened, man. I can't wait for, you know, today's chapters. I'm recording it on, you know, February 12th. You know, it's 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. right now in the morning. Woke up just to record this video, and I was saying, grind never stop. Yeah, I can't wait for next chapters, man. And hopefully, or not hopefully, I know it would be good, but hopefully we get what Sunfist are doing. I want to see that. And I think for sure, if it's not the Tomb of Ariel, they definitely going somewhere new, or like we know that he's gonna go get his fate at some point, and we know he would take Nephis with him because it's very important, and it's a cursed terror. I think the most he fought was a cursed tyrant, and he lost himself with that, you know, which is the Seed of Doubt. I forgot what he called that shade. Whatever, you know, the moth. So he could have just said, okay, we went to the Tomb of Ariel, just mentioned it. But I guess they're all doing that and acting like they don't know where they're going because of Asterion. I get it, but he could have said it as the narrator. But I guess even there is no narrator. It's always like somebody's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I have to say, man. Great fucking chapters. G3, you're doing great. Shout out to G3, you know, the author. Shout out to not Epic, Logister or whatever on Twitter. He always does Shadow Slave art. I make my thumbnails from there, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And I'll see y'all in the next time we talk about it, man. I'll see y'all, man.